Do you want to wake up feeling like you're stepping into who you're meant to be, into the best possible version of you? What if I told you that the key to your best life, health, and happiness are all around you? You just have to find what works for you. I'm Hopeful and I believe that there isn't just one way to live a healthy and meaningful life, and that all you need is a little inspiration to make changes that last from the inside out. Each week, I'll be sharing tangible tips and inspirational interviews to help you on your journey. These are the steps to take to improve your life and live with purpose. This is Hopeful and Wholesome. Hi, friends. Welcome back to the show. I feel like I'm talking to a room full of strangers because I feel like it's been a while since I've done a solo episode. And I know there was kind of a gap in even my interview episodes going on. I just had a lot going on and just had my first retreat, my first Hopeful and Wholesome retreat. And so everything just kind of piled up. So getting back to, I want to say the grind, but I'm trying not to look at it that way, but it is quite an adjustment coming back from retreat and just kind of being in this space of, kind of slow pace living in Tulum and just kind of, you kind of leave these experiences with kind of this head in the clouds feeling and kind of come back on a high. And so you kind of have to pull yourself back down to earth while trying to, hold on to the vibe. So anyway, there's just been a lot of that going on. So I wanted to hop on and come back to say hello. And I miss recording for y'all. And here I am back. And I wanted to start back with a solo episode about just some lessons that I did learn on my first Hopeful and Wholesome retreat. I feel like whether or not you wanted to go or have any desire to go to any of my retreats, I feel like the lessons learned don't have to apply to just retreats. I feel like they're lessons that we can apply to a lot of areas of our life. And I think a lot of these are just kind of, nuggets of wisdom that you can take and apply in other ways. But I wanted to share these and just kind of the learnings. Me being on my own personal journey and just kind of stepping into this leadership role of helping others on their personal journey, I feel this little bit of responsibility to just continue to share the things that come through for me and the lessons, the challenges, the struggles, all things. So here I am. And I want to just go through, I have 5 lessons that I learned from my first retreat. And the first lesson we've gone a little bit into on the show here, but it's really just how much work we need to do to get into our bodies. And what I mean by that is recognizing when, especially, and this is why my intention with all of my retreats is to keep them small and exclusive for specifically for this purpose, to like really get a read on everybody who is coming, who shows up and who is showing up into this space with me. And I think that's where a lot of the big lessons come from, looking at this small group and working with a small group and being able to spend one-on-one time with everybody who's there. And that was something I learned. Everybody at the retreat got one-on-one time with me, and being a small group, even the group sessions were very intimate, right? Because there's just a handful of us. And so I think that what I mean by how much work we need to get into our bodies is being with all of these women, the 5 women that were there on retreat with me, and kind of diving into everybody's stories and backgrounds and past experiences and traumas and all of that. It's so evident, like even more evident. I knew this before, obviously, or I wouldn't be doing the work that I do, but seeing this in this one-on-one space, like in person, it's so evident how much work we need to do to get into our bodies. And the women that were on their retreat with me did such an amazing job of just kind of putting down their guard and pulling down their walls and really tuning into the exercises and the practices that we did on retreat. But I find that, it is more work for some people than others. There are a lot of us that are more connected with their bodies. There are a lot of us who are not and are still kind of on that journey. And there's still a little bit of hesitation, fear, whatever. And I appreciated the women so much on retreat because the ones who still kind of had their guards up, like they were honest about it. And I really appreciated that. And us being able to just start that dialogue and kind of talk about why and what that looks like. And I find that so many of us, and this will tie into a couple of other lessons that I want to mention, but as women, we just become so disconnected from our bodies. And it's I don't think I don't think it's intentional, most of us, and I also don't think it's a conscious thing for a lot of us. I don't think a lot of us had, set out to like, oh, I'm going to disconnect from my body and kind of lose that mind body connection. And I I hesitate to bring that term mind body connection in because I just feel like it's just kind of like one of those like fluffy frou-frou words we say, and we're just like, oh yeah, mind body connection. We're talking about yoga or certain exercises, but it's like this is a real thing. And this disconnect of the mind body connection, this lack of the mind body connection is what's keeping so much of us stuck in dis-ease in the body. And I don't need to go down my rabbit hole to talk about what I believe is the root cause of chronic disease, but I will tell you that I believe there's all emotional, energetic root causes to this. And I think this is a key piece of that. It's that disconnect, that mind body disconnect, the disconnection we have with our mind and the body. And we live in the Western world, at least, we live in the society where it's the go, 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 get things done, be productive and prove and show that you can do all the things and do it all while standing on your head, jumping around and spinning around in circles, right? And so when we're in this fast paced hustle culture, if you will, this is a really good way to disconnect from our bodies because we spend all of our time in our heads, in our minds, and everything is very analytical and everything is very, um, kind of go into that black white approach to life. And that's just a really good recipe for disconnecting from our body and missing out on opportunities for growth and expansion and healing and all of these things. So, big lesson for all of us is just the importance of the somatic work being the work that gets you back into your body. And it's the work that I do with my clients. And it's the work that I did on this retreat. A lot of the sessions we did were these really intentional somatic practices to help them get back into their bodies and to feel what that's like. And it's what I do now in my one-on-one sessions when I'm going into these quantum healing sessions, is really helping women get back into their body and reconnect. It's the only way to heal. And we're not going to heal from our mind. We're not going to heal from talking about it or thinking about it. We have to feel it in the body. So that's my spiel on that. I could go on forever, but I just wanted to mention that as the first lesson. Now, the second lesson that I think kind of ties into this is that as much as I love my online business, as much as I love having this virtual business that I have, because I do. I mean, running a virtual business is what makes my work so accessible for so many people. I've had the pleasure of working with clients from all over the world, multiple countries, multiple states all over the US because of it. It's great, right? The internet is great. The internet is an amazing thing. Social media is an amazing thing for that reason. And as introverted as I am, and believe it or not, if you don't know me well, and you might think, oh, she talks in a podcast all the time. No, I'm actually an introvert, and deep down, I would rather be alone pretty much all of the time. Even I, as an introvert, can see just how powerful an in-person encounter really is, and how a lot of times the transformation, there's just some things that can't be accomplished in a Zoom call. Like there is this power of having in-person experiences. And it's being able to be in someone else's energy, like in the room with someone else's energy, and to be able to calibrate to their energy and to calibrate to their power and engage in empowering conversations with like-minded people while being in their presence. It's just having that human to human interaction, that human to human contact that we were actually designed for as humans. We were designed to need people. We weren't designed to be solitary creatures. We really weren't. We were designed to be part of a group, part of a tribe, part of a collective. And we were divinely created that way. And you can go into neuroscience and mechanics, all that, and see just exactly how we were wired, the way our neurotransmitters work, and the way our like hormones in our body work. Like we were literally designed to need and crave connection. And even us introverts who like to be alone a lot of the time, even we still need that. And so while the world of, the virtual world of Zoom calls and video chats is a really great way to connect with the people from all over the world. Again, I am so grateful for these things. It is crucial that we intentionally create space for that in-person human to human interaction from time to time to fill those deep human needs that our souls crave at a cellular level. And for me, it was being on the retreat was even more confirmation of why I want to lead these retreats and why you need to retreat. And it's so funny because I had a conversation and I was creating some content around this, but I had a conversation with one of the gals on retreat and we were eating breakfast and she said, like, how do you get the point across to people that you need this? Like, this isn't a luxury. Like, this is something you need that you have to do periodically for yourself. Is a retreat like this? Because it's, yes, while we can look at it and say it's a luxury, which I'm going to get to that in a second, it's a luxury. Like, you need this space, like this intentional space you're taking for yourself. Like, it's worth whatever money you invest and, however, whatever payment plan you have to get on. Like, it's worth doing all of that because for this reason that I'm talking about, like it's this connection, this human to human connection. And it's different than, it's not the same as human to human connection of like, when you're at the gym or going to your workout class or you're meeting friends for dinner. Like, yes, that is great human to human connection, but this container is a very special approach to this human to human interaction. Like, a retreat is it's this isolated container that puts you in this space, right? It's taking you out of your normal everyday life, out of your normal everyday environment, out of your group of friends or family or whatever, your coworkers. It's dropping you in this foreign place, this foreign environment, and it's forcing you to take space for yourself. So it's forcing you to look at things in a completely different light, and it's giving you the time and space for you to integrate things that you would not normally otherwise. And I can say that with like full body. I'm not like being dramatic or because I usually don't like to speak in generalities because there's always exceptions to rules. But for this one, I am so convinced and I am so firm on this that the transformations you experience in a retreat is a transformation that you'll have in no other experience. And so this, going back to my original point about these things that you can't accomplish on a Zoom call, like that's what this is. And that's why I've brought this aspect of my business to light. And I've experienced myself firsthand being on retreats. I've experienced hosting retreats because yes, I've hosted a couple other retreats with my studio, my brick and mortar studio before, and we've done like, kind of some local little retreats, like day retreats and stuff. So I am familiar with kind of curating experiences for people, but the way that I'm doing it in my business in Hopeful and Wholesome, the way I'm doing it in this space is a completely different approach, which leads me to my next lesson that I've learned. And that is going off the tail end of this kind of human to human interaction is that women need more opportunities for luxury experiences. And I'm going to say this to you. I did a post about it the other day. Or I did an email to my wait list about it, and I'll talk about it more because I want to bring this conversation. Like, I want to start this dialogue. And yeah, this might trigger you, this might trigger people, but I am not afraid. I'm not going to back down for an opportunity to bring this to light, regardless if it triggers people. But I know that this whole idea of like investing in a quote unquote luxury retreat can intimidate people. And again, the word luxury can be a trigger for people. And it has for me, it's been a turnoff for me, the word luxury. Like, I don't need that. But here's the thing. Maybe the term luxury retreat does trigger you or turn you off. Maybe you think you can never make this type of investment for yourself, right? That it's selfish or irresponsible or ridiculous, or one that I hear so often, quote unquote, it's just not worth it to spend that kind of money on something, right? And there's so much to untangle here. Like, there's so many things to unpack here. And this is why I wanted to bring this to light. Because first of all, I have a podcast episode coming out about this later, another solo episode about this subject specifically, but just touching on it a little bit for a second. There there are things that you might feel like an experience is, quote, not worth it, right? When you are saying that to yourself or out loud, you are essentially telling yourself that you are not worth it. And yes, there's a lot to unpack here, but I can tell you, I have had many, 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 many conversations about this with women, about investing in any of my programs or services, because I'm fully aware that my programs and services, like, they're not cheap, right? I'm not asking you to spend $50 on something, right? I understand that this is an investment. And for a lot of people, it's a really big investment. It's a bigger investment for some people than for others. And when we're talking, when I'm having conversations with women and they're questioning, oh, I didn't know it was going to be that much. I didn't know. And so I'm kind of prompting them like, how much were you expecting to spend to literally change your life? Like, I mean, that's what it is. This is literally transforming every aspect of your life, because we're transforming your health, which is everything. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. So for me, when having these conversations and you're stuck in this, like, oh, I just don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if it's worth it, right? You're telling yourself that you are not worth it. And these thought patterns is what keeps people stuck in the same patterns that keep them stuck in their health, their relationships, their career, their business, right? It's these thoughts around this whole not worth it piece. So I'll dive into the worthiness piece, but I want to call that piece out because this is a big one. And this is the reason that I have extended payment plans for everything. This retreats included. I have opportunities for people to pay out as long as they need to when they feel the tug on their soul that I need to do this. And so this word luxury, and I know this from experience too, because the whole like feeling like, oh, I can't afford that, or this isn't worth it, or like, do I really want to put myself right? So when you hear this word luxury, that's kind of a lot of the feelings that gets triggered for a lot of people. And the word luxury, this means different things to different people. Like, let me be clear. So the word luxury doesn't necessarily have to mean it doesn't have to mean buying, a $3,000 handbag or whatever. It can mean different things to different people. But I included this word in how I'm talking about my retreat in the fall in Ojai, which I'll talk about in a second, because this word really does embody the experience. And I was able to kind of like own this and the retreat in Tulum, because I know the feeling of experiencing a luxury retreat. And I experienced that when I went to Tanzania last summer on a retreat. I have never invested in myself like that before. Never. I've never spent that kind of money on anything, especially not, traveling somewhere. And trust me, I've spent plenty of dollars on coaches and mentors and certifications and courses and all of those kind of things. But this was like next level investment. This is more than I've spent on any of that. And it wasn't necessarily giving me tangible results, right? Like when you're investing in like a business coach or a program, like you at least know like there's an ROI, right? I'm going to get something on the other end. And not saying I wasn't going to get that from the retreat, but the ROI was more of this kind of, there's like this invisible piece attached, right? There's this invisible piece from investing in a retreat, because it's more about what happens to you on a soul level than like, how am I going to make my money back with the business coach? So this was kind of the mindset that I had, but I could not get this out of my mind. Like I've talked about this in another episode, but like I felt this pull on my soul and my heart, like every piece of me. I don't know why. I don't have this kind of money. I shouldn't be spending this kind of money on this kind of thing. Like, all the things. It's not worth it. I'm not worth it. I should be spending this money on this, that, or whatever. I could be doing better things with this money. Like all the stories. And this retreat that I went on in Tanzania was marketed as a luxury retreat. That's the name of her brand, because of the upscale experiences that she brings her attendees. And she was doing that on this retreat. And after experiencing it for myself and just diving in and getting on, yes, I got on an extended payment plan because that was how I was going to make it work. I knew experiencing that this was the quality of the experience that I wanted to give my attendees on my retreats. Because like I said, when I was talking about this lesson, we as women need more opportunities for luxury experiences, right? It's not every day. And for me, at least, maybe you listening, maybe you have more experience than me with this, but it's not every day that I treat myself to this kind of 5-star luxury experience, right? This is because like for real, like the retreat I went on was very posh. Like it's 5-star hotels, 5-star food, restaurants, chefs, 5-star excursions, right? This is not an everyday thing for me. And I know that this is true for so many women and for a lot of you listening. But the reason I'm so committed to helping women to create these opportunities for more luxury experiences, because as women, we are naturally givers, just naturally. It's just like in our DNA. We give a lot and we give a lot to a lot of people. It's our family, our partners, our spouses, our kids, our business, our team, our boss, our career, right? It's a lot of freaking giving. We are giving all the time, which is, again, how so many women end up burning out. We give a lot and we don't receive in return. And so many of us rarely give back to ourselves in the same way. Like maybe we treat ourselves to like, oh, go get my nails done or I'll go get a massage. But in this same way we're giving, in the extent and the intentionality that we're giving to other people, we see it as unnecessary or silly or impossible or impractical, right? But this experience, the experience that I had in Tanzania, showed me what it looks like to really give yourself the gift of an unforgettable experience. And this like encapsulating this is what I want to bring to women in my community. This is what I want to bring women with my retreats, with my retreat experiences, because it's an experience of a lifetime. It's an unforgettable experience. It's a completely remarkable transformation. Like that's what's on the other side of it. It's the desire for more. Like, I want more of this. I want to go deeper into this work. I want to go deeper into these things that I'm learning that I'm going to integrate after I get back from the retreat. Like, it's this desire to go deeper. And it's this commitment to self-love and self-discovery. And I understand and recognize that this commitment, this sort of commitment to self-love and self-discovery is not for everyone. It's not. I understand that. It's for the leaders and the trailblazers and the innovators and the pattern breakers. And I say that not in terms of like running a business, because you don't have to own or operate or run a business to be any of these things. You can be these things for your family or your team at your job or your friends, right? You can be the trailblazer in your family that breaks the cycles of self deprecating or self-harming behavior or martyrdom, like we're really good at, right? We recognize that growing up, that this was the behavior. I don't want to do this. I don't want to just self-sacrifice my whole life. I'm going to break that cycle. You can be the innovator for your team at work to show the women on your team, like, this is how you take care of yourself. This is how you do self-care. This is how you live life to the fullest. This is how you invest in yourself. You can be the pattern breaker in your family to find emotional freedom within yourself and really, hone in on self-discovery that allows you to break free from all generational and societal conditioning that's holding you back from like really thriving and living with abandon and living with this like freedom that you didn't feel growing up, right? That wasn't a part of your family. Like you can break these generational cycles and you can create a legacy for generations to come. Like you can be that person. So being a trailblazer or an innovator or like a leader, that doesn't mean you have to do this in a business or in a job or career. Like you can be this just in your life for the people that are in your life. And that is what this kind of commitment is for. And that's what I'm recognizing. Like I loved having such a wide mix of women at this retreat that I led in Tulum, because it was women who own businesses, women who, stay at home and take care of the family. It was women who have jobs. It was women who do both, right? It was such a great mix of women to be able to reach them at the level that they're coming in at, right? And to give this experience to them and be able to, again, provide that opportunity for this luxury experience. And I've experienced it myself on retreat. I've witnessed it firsthand, and this is what I want to provide women, because we don't do this enough, and there is tremendous value in creating a space for this luxury experience and to feel what it feels like. And when I say luxury, for me, the luxury is, it doesn't have to be five-star hotels and five-star food, which I mean that's great. Don't get me wrong. But it's also like luxury and just how you are supported and how you are held and the space that's provided for you to feel that and to be seen and to be heard and to be treated, right? How um you're allowing yourself to receive, like all of that to me is part of the luxury experience. Now for me, yes, in my retreats, I want to give you the five-star accommodations and food and all that, because that's all part of it, because I want you to feel like you're having this luxe experience. And so I just think that we need more of that. That was a lesson that I took away from this retreat. I think we as women, we need more of that. We need to take the time, make the investment to do more of that. Two more lessons I have. Another lesson, lesson number three. I'm gonna go with three, four, maybe four. Women need a safe space to put their walls down. And this kind of goes back to the first one that I said. Well, I mean, they all kind of tie together, but it's again, this space. I keep saying space. I don't know how many times I've said that word, but that's what it is for to be vulnerable and to be open. And again, this is why I like having these small intimate groups and why all my retreats are going to be like that, right? For that reason. Because I did have women who, the things that we're talking about, things that we're doing on retreat, and I'm asking you to feel things in your body and like talk about things and asking you to share things. And I didn't require, force anybody to share anything, but this is what was so mind-blowing to me because I started that out in our first workshop, telling them like, I'm going to ask you to share things. And if you feel led to share, then share. If you don't, then don't. Like nobody's going to be forced to share anything. Nobody has to say a word in any of these sessions. You can just sit there and pretend like you're listening and not be listening. But in every single session, and this is coming from women who are very outgoing to women who are very introverted to women who are like new to all of this and thinking like this human design thing is kind of a little kooky, but I'm here for it, right? Every single woman on the retreat was open to share, and they did. And so that in and of itself, going back to the lesson and hey, we need more in-person experiences, first of all, but that women, all it took for these women, and some people like, I talked to her, like, I haven't shared this with people before, especially not in a group setting. It made me realize like we need these opportunities to create a safe space to put their walls down and open up, even when you don't know the people. They didn't all know each other. A lot of these ladies met each other for the first time. And so it's not about like feeling like you have to know people. It's just having this safe space to put your walls down and open up and be able to share. And the value in that isn't just about the sharing. Yes, there is value in just sharing and just literally getting it off your chest because that is cathartic. And I'm sure you experienced that before, just like getting things off your chest. But it's also, again, what I was saying before about this kind of luxury experience. Part of it is you feeling seen and heard. That's the value in that too, is yes, I'm getting things off my chest and I'm sharing things, but it's sharing it in a way, in a group that allows me to feel seen and heard and validated. And there's so much value in that. There's so much value in that. And I think the experience of that is just amplified by in-person interaction. Because yes, you can do that in, a Zoom room and with, I've done masterminds before that are all virtual and you're doing it on Zoom. That's fine. But there's just this different energy around doing it in person with other people and feeling like physically feeling their presence and their energy as they're expressing these things and divulging these things that are, been hidden deep in their soul, right? There's value to that. And so I see that this is another thing that kind of goes back to my why with these in-person retreats is that it is a space for that. Like we as women, we need a safe space to be able to do that and to share vulnerably and to share openly and to not out of like force or obligation or well, I guess everybody else is doing it, so I might as well do it, right? But out of like I want to. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want to feel heard. I want to feel validated in these things I've experienced and these things that I'm feeling. There's so much value in that. And that in and of itself is so healing. There's even though you might think like, what am I getting out of that? Like it's so healing your body because you feel that in your body, you feel that safety and you can source that safety within your body when you're able to have that space to share openly and safely and freely. And so this is again another why I'm implementing these retreats, and I had this one in October and I'm hoping to do like so many more per year, like not just doing two a year, just being able to have this as a consistent way to bring women together for this purpose and to create this space for women. And I think I keep saying women, women, women. Yeah, sure, maybe one day I was telling some of the gals in retreat, like, I feel like I have this idea in me to do like a couples retreat kind of thing. But I keep saying women because I think like there's just so much like competitiveness, and is that a word, competitiveness, competition and like rivalry and like just ugh, that's what comes up when I'm thinking about it among women that I think a lot of us are just kind of over, right? Like, I don't want to have to compete against other women. I don't want to feel like I have to be like perform, like this whole performative thing to like that's just ugh. And I want other women to that are feeling like that to feel like I can go in a space with women and I don't have to care about what I do for a living. I don't have to care about how many kids I have or don't have, if I'm married or not married, decided to have kids or not have kids, to what I do in my free time, or right, like I don't have to care about how much I weigh, what I look like, or the clothes I wear, where I shop. Like, I don't have to care about any of those things because none of that matters. Like the space isn't about any of that. The space is for like, let's connect on a soul level. And that's what we need more of. That's maybe I should have said that, a safe space to connect on a soul level. That's what it's about. Because, and I had a conversation with my attendees in the retreat about this because we were kind of talking about a lot of the girls kind of, I have this piece in my chart, my human design chart. I really hate small talk. Again, I think that's probably why I'm more introverted. Like, it's so painful to me. It makes me want to vomit. Like casual networking events, like ugh, like ugh, I don't like it. I don't like small talk. To me, it's like forget the small talk. Like I want to know who you are at a soul level, and I want to create space for that. Like I want that to be at the forefront. Like let's talk about what lights your soul on fire. Let's talk about what your big goals for your soul's purpose, like that kind of thing. That's what I want to talk about. And that's the space I want to create. So, okay, I'm going to go to my last lesson here. And it really, I feel like this is really two-parted to the first one. So it's really, I guess, it's not a different lesson, but I just have it listed as a different lesson because I wrote down 5 lessons. And I think it's going back to the first one where I was saying like how much there's just some things that you can't accomplish in a Zoom call, is how much even introverts need connection, human connection. And I've experienced this firsthand. As I mentioned, my retreat in Tanzania, I didn't know any of the people going. I didn't go with anybody. I went by myself and literally went to the other side of the globe. Literally took me 2 days to get there on the other side of the globe by myself. Didn't know anybody. And for me, here's the thing for me too. And I know you might be thinking this too, because I've talked to some people who are like total introverts, like, I don't know, like, I'm not crazy about going into gym, having to be around people I don't know, right? All the time, having to have conversations and make small talk. And here I am again, I'm like, you don't have to make small talk at all. I hate small talk. So don't make small talk. But the thing for me is when I went on my retreat by myself to Tanzania, there was no intention or goal to like, I want to make connections and like build community and network and connect, blah, 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 like with all the people there. It was not a goal. For me, it was like, I felt this pulling on my soul. Like I'm about to spend an ungodly amount of money to go do this. And I'm just saying yes because my soul is telling me to. And I prayed about it and like, all right, I'm going to do it. Right. And it was exciting to me. And the gal leading it, she's a business mentor of mine. I like her and I like her teachings. And I know I was going to get some time with her on the retreat. Like it was kind of, because it was such a small group, we were all getting time to really work on things. So that was really the main reason. It had nothing to do with any other pieces. And then when I get there, I'm realizing like, oh, okay, like this is the whole community connection thing for me. Like, okay, I get it. Like now that is a novel concept, but for me experiencing it firsthand, I'm like, okay. And the gal who leads retreat, she attracts some really cool people into her world as well. I feel like I do too, because I had such cool group of ladies that came to Tulum. But I feel like she does the same. And so it's just, again, we didn't have to do the small talk thing and chit chat and like, ugh, that kind of stuff. It was really just like connecting on a deeper level and talking about struggles and challenges and life stuff, right? And so having those conversations and allowing myself, like that was allowing myself to open up as an introvert and as someone who, has a really extensive history of comparing myself to other people and comparing my journey to other people's, right? And trying to work on that part of me, like letting all that come down. And so this lesson for me that I'm bringing here to you is that even us introverts need human connection. It goes to a couple of the other points that I've made about needing this safe space to connect on a soul level and needing a safe space to, be able to put your walls on and stuff. And this whole thing that where there's just some things that can't be done through a Zoom call. That face to face, human to human, I'm in your personal space interaction. Like, even as introverts, even if people make you uncomfortable or you just don't like people, you don't like being around people, there's still value for you there. There's still, because whether or not you quote unquote like people, because I say this stuff all the time, like, ugh, there's just too many people. I don't like being around people, right? Even if you say that kind of stuff, it is still a fact, like physiologically in your body, that you as a human being were divinely designed for human connection, interaction. And I mean, really, if you're doubting what I'm saying now, if you're like, no, I am way too introverted for that, you can go Google this stuff. There are so many studies on how, like, they're like pheromones and neurotransmitters and hormones that, are sent out when you're crying and when you're stressed. Like, there's what's the study? There was a guy on my podcast a while back, and he was talking about this, that when we're stressed, like the hormones, we release specific hormones that are our like love hormones, like connection hormones to other people, which means physiologically, we were created in a way that when we are stressed, we need other people to help us. And I have to remind myself that all the time, trust me, because I'm one of those people like, oh, I'm just going to do it myself, right? And so this is a fact. Like, this is scientifically a fact that there are things that happen in our bodies when we are stressed. It's those hormones, those connection hormones, like the love connection hormones. Those are emitted because we need people. We need people. We need human to human interaction. We need in-person interaction with people. And I do think a lot of us have learned this through COVID. I think there was, for me as an introvert, it was like, oh, this is great. I don't have to see anybody. I don't have to talk to anybody, right? But I think you do recognize, like for me at least, coming out of it, like, oh, okay, like here's the value. Like, here is why we do need in-person interactions. Is why we do need people, right? And I had another guy on my podcast, you can go back and listen, and he talked about too, he was talking about like devices and social media and stuff, but he was talking about how, like, there's a difference in like what happens in your brain. Again, there's like neurotransmitters and stuff going on when you're having like a FaceTime call, like a Zoom call, like over a screen, versus face-to-face in-person interaction. Like, there's a different reaction, chemical reaction in the body. There's a different reaction that happens. So, going down all the scientific tangents here, I just wanted to kind of like paint that picture for you of why these in-person containers are so powerful and so potent, and just bring to light the things that I'm learning, and I have learned, I am learning, and continuing to learn, and there's going to be lessons every time. But I challenge you to contemplate all the things that I've just brought forth. And whether you go on my retreat, any of my retreats or not, like, find a retreat to go to, whether it's mine or not, find a retreat to go to. It is kind of a like happening thing right now. Like, a lot of people are doing retreats and stuff for different reasons and different purposes and different, whatever topics, themes. But I challenge you to allow yourself to step out of your comfort zone, like financially and like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like step out of your comfort zone and do it for yourself for all of these reasons that I've just mentioned. And my next one, if you follow me on social media, you've been seeing it. But I do have my next retreat coming up in October, and it's in Ojai, California, which is this really magical town in California. And I have this incredible 5-acre estate where we're staying at this mansion in the Goratopa Mountains. It is incredible. And I've been kind of, I've leaked out some details and some photos and stuff, and I just have the wait list open right now. But I'll put the link down below just because for those of y'all listening, you can go ahead and take a look at all the things. General registration will open next week. And if you click on the link, you can just kind of click around and you can jump in now if it's speaking to you. But point is, I am creating this opportunity for women to do exactly what I've just outlined in what I just talked about for the past 30 minutes. And this one is like, I am so freaking excited about what I've got planned. Like I just keep adding more things, and I'm like, okay, I need to stop because I'm going to put too much in it. But it is just the location and the backdrop. Oh my gosh, it's just completely stunning. The town itself, we're going to do this like evening hike to Meditation Mountain, watch this. There's these really special sunsets that happen because of the way that this town is oriented in the mountains. And so you get this whole like really unique experience with the sunset in Ojai, California. I have private chefs that I'm hiring to do all of our meals. So we're literally getting like, when I say 5-star food, like you're getting that every day, lunch, dinner, breakfast, like all the things. We're digging into, I'm tying in my quantum reset to this retreat. And so we're going to dig into all the things that I dive into my quantum reset. So we're going to talk about the physical pieces, right? There's the gut, the hormones, all, the minerals, all that part. We're going to tie in your human design and talk about how that affects your health and your gut, your hormones, your minerals, all those things. And we'll look at the body energetically and do a lot of these somatic practices. And I have even more tools and strategies to tie in as I'm finishing up some other schooling and certifications because, I can't help myself. And so I'll bring that out in the amenities at the mansion. I mean, it's just to die for. We're going to do a hike in a kombucha tasting. Like there's just so many things that I have planned. And again, this focus on this kind of luxe experience with you giving yourself this space for this, the ultimate, like the deepest form of self-love and self-care you could possibly give yourself. And that's what I want this to be for people. So anyway, I'll put the link in the notes. And like I said, if you don't go on my retreat, going on a retreat doesn't have to be my retreat. Like find a retreat to go to. Take the space, take the time, do it for yourself. Because again, yes, I understand, like, I've heard people say it before, like, because yeah, of course, you could take yourself to Tulum by yourself. Like you can go on a trip with your girlfriends. You could go to Ojai, California by yourself. You could plan your own trip there. But the fact is, it's not about the trip, right? It's not about the trip. A trip and a retreat, it's not the same thing. The retreat is an enclosed container that's providing space for something that doesn't happen outside of that. Like this is a unique experience that only happens when you're in a setting like this, when you're in a group of people that were, in my opinion, divinely brought together for a common purpose. And that's why I like, it excites me so much when I open up registration, because I'm like, ooh, like, who's God going to bring together this time? And I could not have asked for a better group of women that came to Tulum. And I know it's going to be just as amazing in Ojai. It's going to be the perfect mix of people. And there's going to be perfectly divinely orchestrated things that brings us all together. So I challenge you to go find a retreat. Go find a retreat, whether it's this year or next year. Like stretch yourself. Like it might be stretchy for you. Stretch yourself, expand yourself, get out of your comfort zone, do something that you feel is risky or silly or, whatever you feel like going on a retreat is, and just do it for yourself. So thank you for listening to all of my rabbit holes on this. I really intended to just talk quickly about all 5 lessons that I learned, but we all know that I can't really say things in a quick way. So I really hope that this speaks to you though. And I hope that these resonate. Again, there are so many applications for this. It doesn't have to be on retreat, but I think the biggest takeaway is for you to challenge yourself, right? Give yourself the stretchy things that feel out of your comfort zone. B, take more time to get into your body. Do more time to get out of your head and into your body. And C, find the spaces that allow you to cultivate this deep connection with yourself and with other humans. This safe space to connect on a soul level with people, with other women especially, and do that in person, right? Just giving yourself this space for that human-to-human interaction. Okay, I will be back with more soul episodes now that we're getting back on track here with all the things in real life. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Shoot me a message on Instagram, shoot me an email. You can check, I'll put the link in for the Ojai retreat. If it's in piquing your interest, you can check it out. And I will see y'all next time. Thanks for listening to Hopeful and Wholesome, y'all. If you found value in this week's episode, please subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave a review to let me know what you thought. I'd love to know what you find useful in these episodes so I can know how to provide the most value I can to my listeners. And if you have topics you'd like to know more about, I'd love to hear those as well. So shoot me a message on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. It's at TheHopePedraza, or you can visit my website, hopefulandwholesome.com. Thanks, y'all.